The National Medicines Regulator has issued a safety alert for Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs over the risk of suicidal thoughts. The Therapeutic Goods Administration has advised patients taking these medications to tell their health professional if they experience any symptoms or changes in mood or behaviour. Let's talk about this now. I'm joined by Dr. Terri-Lynne South from the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners. Good afternoon to you, Dr. Terri-Lynne. What are the main concerns with these weight loss drugs?
So the main concerns, and they're not just weight loss drugs, people are taking these medications for type 2 diabetes, for chronic kidney disease, for cardiovascular risk reduction, for sleep apnea. We know them as Ozempic-like weight loss, but I do want to say that people are taking them for reasons other than weight loss alone. And what I do like about the TGA is they're talking about a class effect, so not just a single medication. But we do think that there is a potential for an increased risk of worsening mental health, particularly depression, and particularly in regards to worsening what we would call suicidal thoughts. And this is concerning because worsening suicidal thoughts is potentially life-threatening.
How direct, as you understand it, I'm sure you keep across this research, are the links? Because I've seen some of the arguments that actually the whole process, aside from the diabetes use, as you say, can actually cause people to feel more depressed, just the act of losing weight. And also there's been studies across Europe and America that show it improves people's mental health.
You look, absolutely. So there is a complex bi-directional relationship between mental health and what we would call metabolic health or endocrine health. And it's bi-directional. So mental health can worsen metabolic health and metabolic health conditions can worsen mental health. What we need to understand is that for some people, yes, being on these medications may actually improve their mental health. There does seem to be the potential for what we'd call a subpopulation where some people may be at increased risk. And it seems that that subpopulation at higher risk may be people who are already taking an antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication, have a pre-existing mental health condition. But like you said, sometimes we don't know whether it's actually the medication that could bring upon new depressive symptoms or worsening suicidal ideation, or is it significant, impactful, fast weight loss? So we don't know whether it's cause or effect. There does seem to be a potential correlation. And again, this is a TGA concern about potential risk. And I do think it's important because of the potential severity and life-threatening concerns with someone who is vulnerable and getting worse with their mental health.
Dr. Terri-Lynne, presumably you talk to all your patients that you would prescribe one of these drugs to about these side effects already. Is the concern that people are accessing some of these drugs not from their GPs?
That would be my concern. I feel that there's a real popularity about these medications and a lot of hype. And my concern is that these medications are expected to be used for people who have chronic, complex metabolic health concerns. And therefore, these medications are expected to be used long term. And for some people, that may be lifelong. And therefore, an appropriate weighing of the potential, pros, cons, risk, side effects needs to be thought about for that individual and what their own individual health needs are, but also their own individual potential risks. The medication specifically as well, because we may find that some of the medications at higher doses are more of a concern than some of the other medications. And so this is a relatively new field, particularly with those higher dose obesity management medications, which is your Wegovy and your Mounjaro. We've only had them in Australia over the last couple of years, as opposed to these Ozempic for type 2 diabetes, which we've had longer experience for. Those more recent medications are still under what we call the Black Triangle monitoring scheme. So we're actually looking for potential safety signals in a relatively new medication. And I think it's fantastic that the TGA, is able to give some timely advice to protect patients in this way.
Dr. Terri-Lynne South, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to say, if you need information or indeed support, you can contact Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636.